You're watching In Her Shoes with Tiffany Dowling.
And I'm Shelley Davids-Milak.
So today we're going to be talking about nonprofit organizations. And you know, I tell you what, I'm so glad that there are people out there who are working so hard to make things better for people in our community. And it is tough, especially
Absolutely.
right now with the economic conditions that are out there. There are so many nonprofits that are worthy of donations and volunteers, and sometimes it's really difficult to get them.
Well, it is, and like you said, it's so wonderful. Personally, I have a hard time deciding who I'm going to support, and you know, it's like, oh gosh, well, yeah, I love babies, and yes, I believe in the hospitals, and yes, I believe in helping, you know, people with, you know, other medical issues,
Absolutely,
and all those things. So I'm just so glad that we get the opportunity to talk to viewers about some of the options out there, ways that you can help, and the good work that they're doing too.
Well, it's really important for me. I am the same way. It's tough to choose, especially personally, what you're going to support. There's so many great things out there that you can give money to, and time and resources. But I'm really lucky that I have the ability through, you know, through this show,
yes,
through Capital Area Women's Lifestyle, and we have a bunch of events where we donate the proceeds to different charities out there. We just recently gave $3,500 to Reach Studio Art Center for some programs for young people. And I just they were so excited.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a ton of money, but every little bit helps every charity out there.
It goes, I mean, $3,500 goes a long way.
Well, yeah, especially when you're talking art supplies for kids and things like that, where, you know, it's really necessary and they need it, but it's hard to come up with those extra dollars to support it.
Right. I know. I just had breakfast recently with somebody who said, hey, you know, would you consider getting involved with this? And I said, you know what? I would. However,
I know.
You know, right now I'm chairing a hospital gala, which is no small undertaking. And you know, when I decided to do this, I said I'll do this, and really that's what I'm going to do for now. And as far as putting a ton of my time into, you know, after October, let's have this conversation again once it goes off, because I'm a big person, and I know you too. If I'm going to do something, I really want to
do it all the way.
Yeah, put my heart and soul into
Absolutely.
it and really make a difference.
Well, and we have the Lady Classic golf outing that's coming up, and the proceeds from that is going to Eve and Violent Encounters. And so I really try to move the resources around to support all of the smaller nonprofits in our community, because I know how much they need the money.
Absolutely. Well, and we've sent on a lot of boards together, Junior League of Lansing and the March of Dimes. I mean, we've done a lot of things.
Yep.
So we try to get out there and do good things all the time. But I'm just glad that there's people out there that are committed to these specific missions and raising awareness.
I know, and I think that, you know, you try to do so much, and you go to these events and you pay, you know, to be there, and you give money. I think that some of the organizations are really just looking for volunteers sometimes.
Absolutely.
And you don't necessarily have to be giving a donation in order to support a really worthwhile cause.
Well, that's the thing with especially small businesses like me. I don't have a lot of resources to be giving money out to different places. I'm working on it every day. But I don't have a ton of money to give out like some big organizations. But I like to get behind something and give my time, maybe bring people in that haven't been exposed to that organization.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different ways to get involved that don't necessarily mean you have to, you know, put your money there.
And I try to be a connector.
Yeah.
You know, I think that that's one of the things that I do. If I know that there's a project and someone was talking about they like to get involved with these things, I like to put those people together and try to make a connection, even if I can't support it. Maybe I know someone who can do something to help. Well, and it's tough.
Well, and it's just so important in the community. I know one of the things with my family, we adopted a child in Africa. So we, you know, every month we pay a little bit of money. We have the pen pal situation going on.
So nice.
And to get the kids involved at a young age is really important, so that they understand, you know, it's not all swimming and, you know, playing soccer, that there's some kids that don't have that.
Absolutely. And it really is important to really teach the next generation. I think that we're very lucky because we were from the me generation. Generation X.
Right.
We didn't really do as much as young people as we probably should have, but the kids today really understand about giving back, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, they're very
So we're doing a good job of getting them involved, so that's hey, we're doing our part.
It just took us a little longer to get there, but we're all in now.
Right, absolutely.
Well, we're going to be talking to two nonprofits today that I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I've had personal connections to, and I know that you have too, so I can't wait to bring our viewers up to speed in the next segment so you can get to hear all about what's going on.
Absolutely. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. You're going to love this edition of In Her Shoes. Her Shoes will return right after these messages.
"75 years ago, MSU Federal Credit Union opened its doors. A group of university professors founded MSU FCU in 1937 to provide loans, including automobile loans. Today, MSU FCU is the world's largest university-based credit union. We are still providing auto loans, home loans, free checking, ATM access, online banking, and everything in between. Help celebrate our 75th anniversary. Stop in or visit msufcu.org to become a member today."
Is your dog bored and lonely? Doggy Daycare and Spa provides cageless daycare for dogs big and small in our custom-built indoor and outdoor facilities. We also offer one-on-one grooming appointments. Call 333-WOOF to learn more about our unique daycare, boarding, and grooming services. Doggy Daycare and Spa, where Lansing's hip hounds hang out.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. I'm Tiffany Dowling.
And I'm Shelley Davis-Milak.
We are continuing our conversation about nonprofit organizations, and luckily today we have Terri Shaver with us. She is the founder and executive director of the Oldham Project.
They're doing a lot of great things here in Michigan and beyond,
amazing.
really, aren't
Absolutely.
you, Terri?
Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So we want to tell everyone a little bit about what the Oldham Project is, for those people who do not know.
Well, the Oldham Project was started to document the lives of people who were going through catastrophic, life-threatening illnesses, to just take really fine portraits of them at no cost to them.
So tell me a little bit about your background and how you decided to get involved in or found this organization.
Well, surprisingly enough, I was a nurse for 23 years.
That's not surprising to me. You're very caretaking.
You are, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've known you for a while. That's really great.
I was a nurse for 23 years here in Lansing and had some medical issues myself and had to leave the nursing profession. And I took a year off to do nothing but get better. And then I decided to go back to school and do something a little less stressful.
Okay, yes.
And I went to photography school at LCC.
Oh, wow.
Now, did you always have, you know, kind of an eye for photo taking? And I mean, I consider myself a little bit of a photographer myself. But no, but did you always know that you liked to take pictures and then finally you just went and got the actual credentials?
I actually had an art background,
Okay.
and my dad told me I had to go to school and do something that would earn a living.
Okay.
So I went to nursing school.
Okay.
So I kind of always had that artsy part of me. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a huge switch for me to go to photography school.
That's great.
So you were a photographer. Were you taking pictures, just senior pictures, school pictures? What sort of?
Oh, I did a little dabbling, but I mostly worked for the Business Monthly magazine here in town. I shot a little bit for the Lug Nuts when I first started out, which was kind of fun.
Yeah. That's great. And I'm sure you are the designated family photographer.
Oh, yeah.
So, all pictures all the time from
Yeah.
from you. Well, that's great. So how long have you been a professional photographer?
12 years now.
12 years. That's awesome.
Now, where'd you get the idea from doing lug nuts and business people to doing something that's really, different than what you were doing, and I would say of a much greater impact than some of the things you were doing before?
Well, my brother's wife, Kathy, lost both of her sisters to breast cancer within a couple years of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at the funeral home of the second funeral, the second sister, and I was watching that slideshow play that often families do now. And I was just hit between the eyes that I needed to do something with the photography skill that I have to give back. And so I made a couple of phone calls and asked a few questions about how you start a nonprofit, and here we are.
Well, and it really isn't that easy to start a nonprofit,
No.
frankly. I mean, you have to jump through a lot of hoops and do a lot of paperwork, and then there's a lot of oversight, which there should be, of course.
Correct.
But I mean, that's a lot of work on top of the other things that you were doing. Were you a little bit nervous about pulling all of this together?
I was. It's an arduous process. The nonprofit paperwork itself is 27 or 29 pages long.
I know, we looked into it.
I know. But I found a local attorney here in Lansing whose wife was also a cancer patient. And so he had a heart for what I was trying to accomplish. And he volunteered his services to help me get started.
Oh, that's great.
He helped me walk through that whole paperwork mess. And about 6 months later, we got our letter in the mail that said we were a 501c3.
It only took 6 months.
Yes.
No, that's great. That's great. So now, do you have a board?
We do have a board. We have a board of 12 people of community-minded individuals in town, business people.
Okay. And so how do you decide who you might need on your board to help you with the direction of the nonprofit?
Well, in the beginning, Lori Baumer, who's a friend from Ellie's Place, and that's somebody I worked closely with. She was a great mentor for me in the beginning. I asked her about how to go about doing a lot of this. She was one of those first phone calls.
Of course.
And she said, surround yourself with people who have a skill set that you can use. And so we have a pretty active working board. They all have a job, and we use the skill sets that they bring to the table.
You mean beyond the job that they do all day?
Absolutely.
Right. They have a job on the board.
Well, and I know some of the people on your board, and you've pulled together a great group of people with a wide variety of skill sets who want to give back, and something like Oldham that's just so amazing and helpful to people in their time of need is it's not something that I imagine would be too hard for them to get down and do some hard work to move it forward.
Some of them have a very personal connection.
Absolutely.
Their spouse has had cancer, or they themselves have had cancer. So,
well, we will continue our conversation with Terri Shaver when we return after these messages.
Stick with us.
Thank you so much.
Is your dog bored and lonely? Doggy Daycare and Spa provides cageless daycare for dogs big and small in our custom-built indoor and outdoor facilities. We also offer one-on-one grooming appointments. Call 333-WOOF to learn more about our unique daycare, boarding, and grooming services. Doggy Daycare and Spa, where Lansing's hip hounds hang out.
75 years ago, MSU Federal Credit Union opened its doors. A group of university professors founded MSU-FCU in 1937 to provide loans, including automobile loans. Today, MSU-FCU is the world's largest university-based credit union. We are still providing auto loans, home loans, free checking, ATM access, online banking, and everything in between. Help celebrate our 75th anniversary. Stop in or visit msufcu.org to become a member today.
Welcome to total relaxation. Welcome to tranquility. Welcome to Douglas J. Salon and Spa. We don't just cut hair, we create style. Experience a cut and styling appointment at Douglas J, where you leave the world behind. Relax, restore, and renew with our 5 free services included with each appointment. Let scented oils stimulate your senses during a soothing scalp and neck massage. Relax with a hand massage as our stylists create your new look. Fall in love with luxury. Fall in love with the experience of Douglas J.
Hello, I'm Kelly from Kelly's Consignments, and welcome to our new women's world at Kelly's Consignments.
Expect the unexpected, expect the unexpected. Kelly's Consignments.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. I'm Shelley Davis-Milak.
And I'm Tiffany Dowling.
We're continuing our conversation with Terri Shaver from the Oldham Project. Terri, thanks so much for staying with us.
Thank you.
So you have a lot going on. We've just talked about what the nonprofit does and how active the board is. What else do you have going on? I know that you were going to share, you had a great article in a magazine, Midwest Living.
Yes. Today I hit the newsstands today, Midwest Living magazine. There's a small article about the Oldham Project. We're getting a little bit more national attention.
Well, you were on, weren't you on NBC, or what were you on? You were on
ABC.
ABC,
yes.
thank you.
CNN ran an article last October. In November, ABC News from New York came and filmed a documentary in the studio.
Great. That's great. So are you like the only one that does this type of work? Or are
the
there
only one
other...
that we know of.
Okay.
You know, there may be individual photographers around
Who are
the
doing
country
that
who
type.
do,
Yeah.
you know, take the occasional photo, but I think we're the only nonprofit in the country that's doing this on a large scale.
So the people that come to see you, they do not pay anything to get
No.
photographed?
No.
Okay.
No, and they all receive a disc of retouched images with a copyright release so they can use them however they want.
They're theirs, which is nice.
They're theirs. They get to own them and print
Especially
them
for
the way
family.
they like. They get a full set of prints. They get a large portrait of themselves every year at our annual fundraising gala, which happens in January every year.
That's great.
That's great. What would you say is the most rewarding part of this for you personally?
You know, people are inviting me into one of the most intimate places in their life, which is their death, you know, or this horrible sickness that they have. And just the honor that I get from them wanting to share that piece of their life with me.
Sure.
I feel so honored.
Yeah.
Now, are the ladies that you work with, do they all have some sort of cancer, or could it be other sort of diseases?
It can be anything, and we not only do women, but we do men and children as well. We have our Oldham Kids program.
Okay.
So we photograph men, women, and children, all with cancer or any life-threatening illness.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, I think that that's important to really, you know, put out there. It's first of all, it's not just cancer, which I think that some people may have that misconception, and then of course it's not just women; it can be anyone.
Right.
So how, you know, obviously as a nonprofit, you accept donations, volunteers, you like people to get involved. Tell us a little bit about what your needs are going forward.
Oh, we can always use financial contributions.
Right.
That's always a big one. But like you said, we have other ways to get involved. We put on this big fundraising event every year, and sometimes our committees need extra bodies to help fill in those gaps, to lick and stick envelopes and
Use a glue stick. It's much easier, believe me.
yeah. But we also are interested in having people put together drives to maybe collect things that we can give out to our women and children as they come into the studio. We like to give out the women a bag of pampery type items. So if you have a workplace or an organization that would like to collect some of those pampery type items for women.
What are you talking about in terms of like the items that
Oh,
you
I'm
would
talking
need?
about lotions, you know, small bottles of lotions, or not shampoos, obviously, because most of them don't have hair, but lotions and powders and bubble baths and maybe some pretty note cards or nail polish, those kinds of things.
So a business could just send an email to their staff and say if people want to bring these things in, and then you could pick them up or they could drop them off.
Exactly.
Very nice.
And are you looking for people to get their photos taken
Yes,
as well?
we are absolutely looking for participants. We received a grant from Susan G. Komen in Michigan this year.
That's great.
you.
And so we are looking to fill 50 slots yet for that grant.
And is it
50 more women.
Strictly women for the grants?
Correctly.
Okay.
Strictly women for the grants that are in some process of treatment for cancer, and it doesn't necessarily need to be breast cancer.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So if there's someone that says, you know what, I know someone that was recently diagnosed or someone that's going
Absolutely.
through, how do they get a hold of you?
They can reach us through the website. We have an 800 number on the website, or we do have a contact form on the website they can just complete.
That's
Which is,
great.
what's that website?
It's theoldhamproject.org.
I've been there before. It's a lovely site. That's wonderful, wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for being here, for
Oh, my
talking
gosh.
about this great project, and for doing all that you do in our community.
And you're going to show us some of the photographs when we come back. You're going to kind of walk us through, and so we can take a look at the beautiful faces and, of course, the beautiful photography that you do as well. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Is your dog bored and lonely? Doggy Daycare and Spa provides cageless daycare for dogs big and small in our custom-built indoor and outdoor facilities. We also offer one-on-one grooming appointments. Call 333-WOOF to learn more about our unique daycare, boarding, and grooming services. Doggy Daycare and Spa, where Lansing's hip hounds hang out.
75 years ago, MSU Federal Credit Union opened its doors to provide auto loans. Today, MSU FCU is still providing loans, free checking, online banking, and everything in between. Celebrate our 75th anniversary by visiting msufcu.org.
Welcome to total relaxation. Welcome to tranquility. Welcome to Douglas J Salon and Spa. We don't just cut hair, we create style. Experience a cut and styling appointment at Douglas J, where you leave the world behind. Relax, restore, and renew with our 5 free services included with each appointment. Let scented oils stimulate your senses during a soothing scalp and neck massage. Relax with a hand massage as our stylists create your new look. Fall in love with luxury. Fall in love with the experience of Douglas J.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. We're continuing our discussion about nonprofits. We have Terri Shaver from the Oldham Project with us, and she's going to tell us a little bit about this wonderful banner and these amazing photos.
Terri, thanks for bringing this in. I can't even imagine what it's like to bring these ladies in and take these photographs. Can you walk us through the process?
Well, we get referrals from hospitals, from doctor's offices, from oncology centers, radiation centers. And women they give us a call, and you know, sometimes it takes them a bit of time to decide that they want to be brave enough to come in and do this. But we get calls, and they set up an appointment in our studio to come into our bath studio. We partner with Douglas J, who does free makeup for the women, so they get to go in and get pampered a bit before their sessions. They even put false eyelashes on the gals who have lost their eyelashes and their eyebrows. So that's a real treat for them to be able to go in and get pampered.
They look lovely.
They do. They look beautiful. And I imagine it has to be, I mean, I'm attached to my hair. I think most women, we feel like it's such a big part of who we are.
Absolutely.
To come
It'd be awful
and to sit down for pictures that you know are going to be seen by hundreds of thousands of people. I'm sure you have to do some talking them through it as you're taking the photographs.
Sometimes we do have to persuade. But they're so happy that they do come in. But I always approach those reluctant ones with the idea that they can help somebody else by doing this. If they could be brave enough to do it, they can help somebody else feel better about themselves.
Well, they're already being courageous. I mean, they're going through probably the toughest time of their lives. And you know, it's such a hard time anyway. To get an opportunity to really feel beautiful has got to be just a highlight, a good moment in what would probably be a very terrible time.
It is. Most of them feel really bad about how they feel or how they look and how they feel.
But then,
here they are.
So gorgeous.
They all look like it's just a moment of happiness. You don't see any sadness or you know, feeling bad. It just looks like they all just look really happy and.
Well, sometimes they're seeing themselves as beautiful. One woman said for the first time in her whole life. And she's bald, and it just was so sad to think that she had such a poor self-image, that it took this to feel better about herself.
Now, do you keep in touch with these women after this process, or have you kept in touch with any of them as they go through?
I do, many of them, and it's really tragic. It's really hard on us as an organization when we lose one of them.
Yes.
For instance, Tina here, she just passed away about 6 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
And I try and go, you know, to as many of the funerals as I can, but it's sad. It is sad when we lose them.
I'm sure that's really difficult.
But I bet her family loves having these pictures of her even in her darkest
my
moments.
gosh. Absolutely. These were good times for her. She was feeling well. She knew it was the end of her time. And she was trying to make the most of every one of those minutes. And so I'm just thankful that we could be a part of helping her to feel better about herself in those end days.
So we're seeing one photo, but do you take multiple photos, different, you know, sceneries, different layouts, anything like that?
Absolutely. Yep. We encourage the women to bring a couple outfits in.
Oh, good.
Things that they
all
look good
Multiple
in.
pairs of shoes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, some women bring shoes. There was a woman that you would enjoy. She brought all her stilettos in. That was her thing. She got a new pair of stilettos to wear to chemo each time.
Nice.
And so she brought all of her
so
shoes in to be
nice.
photographed with.
That's great.
But we do encourage them to bring other outfits, things that are meaningful to them, that tell a story about them or their cancer journey. So we have them bring objects in even.
Yeah.
And how long is a photo shoot?
Oh, 45 minutes, an hour. Depends on if
Okay.
we're having a good time or how comfortable they are behind the camera. We might spend an hour or longer.
Wow.
So how, you know, how is there a waiting list for people to get involved?
You know, it just depends on the time schedule. We have to
Okay.
generally work around chemo schedules and how they
Right.
feel. So it's, you know, they just need to call and set up an appointment. And we're pretty flexible about working around their schedule.
And so there could be sometimes we have to reschedule because they may not be feeling
Exactly.
great that day.
Their counts, they're always vulnerable to their
Right.
counts being low. And so sometimes they end up going into the hospital rather spontaneously because their counts are low. And so we do
Right.
need to work around those.
Well, it's so great that you are able to provide them with these wonderful, wonderful photos.
Yes, these women are beautiful, and you're a wonderful photographer, and I think
Yes.
what you're doing is just amazing, an amazing impact, probably even beyond what most of us
Right.
already know what you're doing right now. So thank you so much for
Absolutely.
that.
you.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Does your dog look rough around the edges? The spa specialists at Doggy Daycare and Spa will give your dog the attention they deserve. We only use the best products, and our shampoo and conditioners are tailored to your dog's skin and coat needs. Call 333-WOOF to schedule your dog's appointment. Doggy Daycare and Spa, where Lansing's hip hounds hang out.
Are you looking to buy a new car? Save money on your monthly payment along with outstanding service. MSU Federal Credit Union now offers auto loan rates as low as 1.99%. Buy new or refinance today and enjoy the difference of being an MSU FCU member.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. I'm Tiffany Dowling.
And I'm Shelley Davis-Melock.
We're talking about nonprofits today, and one that is near and dear to my heart and yours.
Yes.
Junior Achievement.
I love Junior Achievement.
I know. I really love the fact that we're teaching kids about financial literacy, entrepreneurship. You know, when I was a kid, you really didn't know that there was an option.
No, you went and work for somebody.
You go and you work for somebody, and that's really what schools are teaching you.
Right.
This is how it works. You go to school, you get your diploma, you go to college, and then you go into the workforce. And I love the fact, and the reason why I support Junior Achievement is I love to let kids know that they have so many more options available.
They really do. I had the opportunity when I was in my banking years to go teach Junior Achievement at a Lansing school in South Lansing. And we went through the whole process of setting up a business. I think we did a donut business.
Well, who doesn't want to have a donut business?
I mean, really. And it was so great. The kids loved it because they have, a new person in the classroom, so that's super fun. And they're learning something in a different way than maybe they would when the teacher's there. And it gives the teacher a break to catch up on some of their lesson planning or other
Get
things.
away from the kids?
Yeah, other things that they need to do.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah, teachers have things they need to do too. So
It's true, but I think that it's really important for people in the community to know how vital this component is to our kids' future.
It is, and it's so easy. We're going to be talking to Amanda later, but this is something we talked about. You don't have to give a lot of money.
No.
This is something where you don't have to give a lot of time. You don't have to give money, and you don't have to give a lot of time. Everybody has an
They'll take your money.
They will take your money. But if you have people in your organization that you want them to be more involved, so you know what, go take a couple hours once a month or twice a month or whatever schedule you work out and go teach Junior Achievement in a classroom. You're going to have a big impact on the community.
Yes.
And, really helping out some kids. So that's what I love about it.
It's great. And I am on the board, and you've taught in the classroom. And so right now, we're going to be talking with Amanda Cruickshank.
Cruickshank.
Oh, Cruickshank. I knew I was going to blow it. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I really love being here.
Amanda, I first got to meet you through Junior Achievement. I did a reverse job shadow that you helped coordinate. That was really fun. So Junior Achievement does quite a few things.
Yes, we do.
Now
That's actually a specialty program, what we called an R&D program, and it was a special pilot in Lansing that I got to work with, so I'm very fortunate.
R&D.
Research and development.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, well. Tiffany's so smart today.
Well, I have my moments.
So you work with Junior Achievement, but you're actually not an employee of Junior Achievement.
No, I'm an AmeriCorps Vista with them.
Okay.
So what that is I'm a federal agent. I know it sounds really special.
Like
it's,
the FBI?
It's not like CIA or anything like that. It's more kind of like Peace Corps in the United States. So they assign an AmeriCorps Vista in a community, and you go in and you make that nonprofit more sustainable. They have them at the Allen Hood Neighborhood Center.
Okay.
They have them at Volunteer of America, Habitat for Humanity. So those are just a couple of examples.
So you basically get paid by the federal government, but then you go in and you work on one specific community-oriented project.
How can I get one of them from my office?
You can apply.
Start a 501c3, I'm sure.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's great. So where are you from?
I'm from the UP originally.
Okay.
So I'm the Keweenaw.
So you're
Yeah,
not too far. You're not too far away from home. That's great.
Actually, I'm about 10 hours from home.
Yeah, the UP is very big.
I know, but I mean, you're not from California.
Or Saskatchewan.
Actually, people from St. Louis, Missouri are closer to Lansing than I am.
Just learn something new about Michigan every single day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're going to be talking to us about Junior Achievement and what the organization does throughout our community, helping our students and how people in business and just across the community can help with your mission.
Definitely.
That's great. We're so excited. Stick with us. We're going to come back with Amanda Cruickshank in just a minute. We're going to talk a little bit more about Junior Achievement.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. We're continuing our talk on nonprofits, specifically junior achievement right now.
Amanda has stuck with us, even though I mispronounced her name when I closed the show the last time.
That's okay.
She agreed to stay with us and tell us more.
She did. Thank you so much for being with us. So tell us a little bit about junior achievement. If our audience doesn't know.
Okay, well, Junior Achievement is a nonprofit organization. It's actually worldwide, and it's also on a national scale as well. So JAUSA has a couple of branches throughout the United States and a couple in Michigan. And the one that we belong to is the JA of the Great Lakes, Michigan Great Lakes, that's what it is. And then the Junior Achievement of Mid-Michigan is a subset of that. So what Junior Achievement does, we teach entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and work readiness. And we teach the youth in the greater Lansing area to own their economic success.
Oh, that's great.
I like that.
So what age range? I went to an elementary school when I taught junior achievement. What age ranges do you target?
K through 12.
Oh, okay, great, great.
So there, obviously what we have going on is there's a certain curriculum that a volunteer would go into the school for whatever age range that is, and then teach that class that particular curriculum.
Exactly. We have these kits. They were delivered in our office last Friday, actually. And these kits contain all of the curriculum, the stickers, the notebooks.
The donut shop.
The donut shop, yeah, that's in, I think, the second grade program. And then in high school, they actually get textbooks from us as well.
Oh, wow.
So,
interesting.
yeah, and we also do some middle school programs as well. Personal finance is one that's actually been recently redone. They're trying to redo 2 programs every year on I think a 10-year scale there. So.
Oh, wow. Now, when people go in and teach the classes, and I haven't done it in just long enough where I don't really remember. I feel like I went in maybe once a month or a couple times a month.
It depends on what's flexible for you.
Okay.
Really, what I do is when I meet with a teacher and I print off my schedule for 2 months, if we're doing a traditional style, and she prints off her schedule, and we go in and we pencil in what days work for them in elementary school. It's 5 sessions, so 5 visits, or you can combine two sessions, which would be an hour and a half, because it's 45 minutes per session.
Oh, wow. So you can really tailor it depending on what your schedule is like.
Right.
Do some people do it all in 1 or 2
right.
days?
Pat, my husband did a junior high program, and he was there all day, and so he finished it in 1 day.
That's, I was talking earlier about our traditional style, and traditional style is where you break up the 5 sessions over 5 visits, or 5 weeks, or 8 weeks, depending. JA in a day is where you take all of those sessions and you do it in the morning, or you do it in an afternoon, and you go in with like a group of people and you take over the school.
Wow. How many students do you impact here in our community?
Well, in the greater Lansing area, it's 6,500 this year.
Wow. That's great.
Just this upcoming school year?
This past.
Oh, this past year.
Yeah.
Hopefully more
Hopefully
in the
more.
upcoming school year.
Our goal for next year is 7,500.
Wow. And this is what I want to know. Why are some classrooms not doing this?
That's the question that we all ask in the office. We're like, come on, this program's awesome. Why wouldn't you get in there and want this, in your classroom? Because the curriculum is really tailored to the education requirements as well.
Oh, like the No Child Left Behind and all that stuff?
So
okay.
we're always on the phone trying to call the schools, get in touch with principals, superintendents.
Well, part of it is what we talked about earlier. Teachers are so busy,
Right.
and they have so many things going on. They have to fit so many things in that I think it's sometimes difficult for them to say, okay, I'm going to add this one more thing to my day or my week or the curriculum. But I fear that they just don't understand or know what exactly they're missing out on.
Exactly.
And so things like this and explaining some of the importance of getting that information out is kind of what we're doing today.
Yeah, even for parents, we've had parents come to us, and we're like, go to your students'
Parents can ask for this.
teacher and tell them that you want junior achievement in your classroom.
And then volunteer.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
teach it. Oh, that's great. We're going to keep talking about junior achievement when we come back, because there's more information that you can find out of how you can help them even if it's not volunteering, maybe you can help them raise some money because
Yes.
they need it for all those textbooks that they're giving out. We'll be back in just a moment.
Step into Reno's West, where it's a party 365 days a year with no cover. Our kitchen is open till 2 a.m. every night. Be sure to book your next party with us and enjoy 40 beers on tap, including a variety of Michigan and craft microbrews. Reno's is packed with a variety of fun games and arcades, along with huge HD TVs and big screens so you'll never miss a game. Reno's West is the place to get your game on.
75 years ago, MSU Federal Credit Union opened its doors. A group of university professors founded MSU-FCU in 1937 to provide loans, including automobile loans. Today, MSU-FCU is the world's largest university-based credit union. We are still providing auto loans, home loans, free checking, ATM access, online banking, and everything in between. Help celebrate our 75th anniversary. Stop in or visit msufcu.org to become a member today.
Experience the taste of Italy's finest cuisine right here in Lansing at Carrabba's Italian Grill, a restaurant rooted in the passion for the best food made to order from the freshest ingredients. Hosting a party or corporate event? Carrabba's catering and family-style menu is now available for pickup or delivery. Also enjoy the great taste of Carrabba's in the comfort of your own home with Carrabba's curbside pickup. Simply call in your order, pull up, and let Carrabba's do the rest. Dine in or call Carrabba's today.
Does your dog look rough around the edges? The spa specialists at Doggy Daycare and Spa will give your dog the attention they deserve. We only use the best products, and our shampoo and conditioners are tailored to your dog's skin and coat needs. Call 333-WOOF to schedule your dog's appointment. Doggy Daycare and Spa, where Lansing's hip hounds hang out.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. We're continuing our conversation about nonprofits. Specifically, we're talking to Amanda
from Junior Achievement. Amanda, you said that we talked about that there were ways to get involved in terms of the volunteering in the classroom. What other ways can people get involved? Because believe it or not, I know this because I do a lot of coaching for people on public speaking. There's a lot of people, even if you're talking about a group of second graders, who will say, there is no way I'm getting up in front of a group of 30 second graders and talking because they have a fear.
I'm nervous thinking about being around 30 second graders.
So how else can people be involved? Obviously, Tiffany's on the board, so you have a board.
Well, if you're nervous about getting in front of the classroom, you can always team teach. You bring in a coworker or maybe someone you're more comfortable with, and you guys can kind of play off of each other in the classroom.
Or you can direct them from the other side of the room.
Like,
wave at them.
Don't do that right now.
No.
Right.
But how you can get involved, you can call our office, which is 517-371-5437, or you can go to our website, which is jamidmichigan.org.
Right.
And you can look up different ways to volunteer there.
Well, you have a lot of events, I know, that people can attend, so maybe they don't want to go into the classroom, but they can do the, what is it, the ghost run or the spooky run?
Well, we're not doing the 5K anymore, unfortunately. But we are doing Star Makers Breakfast, which is a lot of fun.
December,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a talent show with JA students.
It's very, very fun. I highly recommend it.
It's really touching, and like all of these kids get up there. It's really.
They do a whole like dance routine, and then they talk about their experiences. I mean, it's a very powerful, you know, production.
It's very wonderful.
And they work so hard at it. It's very moving.
They do.
How much does it cost for your volunteers to go into the classrooms? Because the teachers are not paying for this, just so you know. The schools do not pay for this.
Well, it kind of depends on what kind of company they're working with. Sometimes companies, if they're giving you one of their employees, they will, the volunteer can offer, say, their hours and say, I want to donate that to Junior Achievement. I was volunteering in their classroom. Some companies kind of have, they still pay their employees to go. You know, they would be there from 9 to 5 and they give an hour of junior achievement, they still get paid for that hour.
Sure.
Sometimes. So it really depends on what the company works out.
Well, and I think that, you know, one of the things that you're thinking about is how much it costs junior achievement to pay for the materials.
Right.
And so, you know, a company can, if they're, you know, they want some support in a particular school district, a company can sponsor a school, they can sponsor a classroom, and you're talking around $1,000 maybe, give or take a little bit, but not really a ton considering the impact that the resources would go to.
Definitely.
So that's another way that you can get involved. Maybe you don't want to volunteer, but you can say, you know what, our company is in this school district. We want to sponsor 2 or 3 classes in this school district.
There are lots of schools to sponsor, for sure.
That's true.
And then you go about finding the volunteers to teach that for
definitely.
them. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more difficult to find the resources.
Right.
As a board member, I know this to be true. It's more difficult to find the resources to support the number of classrooms that we'd like to get into. So the more resources we can raise, the more students we can impact, and that's just the way it is. And that's like for any nonprofit organization, obviously. You have to have the resources coming in order to provide the service to the nonprofit. So.
Sure. I know that there's lots of teachers listening. How can they get in touch with you to say, hey, I want my classroom?
They can call us at the number that I provided earlier, and or they can go to our website, and you can now request a program online.
Awesome.
Great.
So there's a whole online form now.
Great.
So.
Great.
Thanks so much, Amanda, for being with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Are you looking to buy a new car? Save money on your monthly payment along with outstanding service. MSU Federal Credit Union now offers auto loan rates as low as 1.99%. Buy new or refinance today and enjoy the difference of being an MSU FCU member.
Welcome to Copper. Experience the culinary mastery of executive chef Jeff Cullen. Copper provides a big city atmosphere and menu close to home. Copper is located within Walnut Hills on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing. Copper is open to the public. No membership is required to enjoy Copper's casual elegance.
"75 years ago, MSU Federal Credit Union opened its doors. A group of university professors founded MSU FCU in 1937 to provide loans, including automobile loans. Today, MSU FCU is the world's largest university-based credit union. We are still providing auto loans, home loans, free checking, ATM access, online banking, and everything in between. Help celebrate our 75th anniversary. Stop in or visit msufcu.org to become a member today.
Financial Facts is sponsored by MSU Federal Credit Union. Welcome to Financial Facts, sponsored by our good friends at MSU FCU. This is April Clovis. She is the COO over there, taking care of all things financial related. Hopefully. Yes. Today we're going to talk a little bit about part-time jobs for kids, and when is a good time to encourage your child to maybe get a part-time job?
Well, it really varies by each family. So I know that I started babysitting at 13, and now I look at my friends' kids at 13. I'm like, wow, leave them with their children. But the reality is, it's a discussion you need to have about why do you or your child want a part-time job? Do they want responsibility? Do they want money?
Right.
And then it is how many hours should your child be working and balancing it with schoolwork, and then
and sometimes sports.
Exactly. I know some of my friends' kids. I don't know how, they couldn't have have a job because of their sports schedule. And then also legally, if you're going to, babysitting is, one thing, but then if you're going to work for an employer, the type of organization that you work for might have age restrictions. So, like for example, at the credit union, you couldn't work here till you're 18. Because we have
financial
to
institution.
Yes, exactly. But other places will take a part-time job, and it really is based upon hours and following the labor laws.
I tried to get my son a job when he was 7, but there are laws. There are laws against that.
Absolutely. So really, it's knowing your child, knowing what they can handle and how many hours they can work, and what their schedule would be like.
That's great. You've been watching Financial Facts, sponsored by our good friends at MSU FCU.
In Her Shoes will return right after these messages.
Are you looking to buy a new car? Save money on your monthly payment along with outstanding service. MSU Federal Credit Union now offers auto loan rates as low as 1.99%. Buy new or refinance today and enjoy the difference of being an MSU FCU member.
Step into Reno's West, where it's a party 365 days a year with no cover. Our kitchen is open till 2 a.m. every night. Be sure to book your next party with us and enjoy 40 beers on tap, including a variety of Michigan and craft microbrews. Reno's is packed with a variety of fun games and arcades, along with huge HD TVs and big screens, so you'll never miss a game. Reno's West is the place to get your game on. Welcome to Copper. Experience the culinary mastery of executive chef Jeff Cullen. Copper provides a big city atmosphere and menu close to home. Copper is located within Walnut Hills on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing. Copper is open to the public. No membership is required to enjoy Copper's casual elegance.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes.
I had such a great time today talking with Terri and Amanda.
I know. Well, dealing with nonprofits is such an amazing thing, and we have so many wonderful nonprofits in the Mid-Michigan area.
We really do.
So, I'm not sure, and I've talked to my husband about this so many times. I don't know if I do some of the things that other people work on, like what Terri does. I would be a little bit sad, and I don't know that I could be as helpful as I'd want to be in those situations.
Right. Well, I know with what Terri does, my sister had cancer when she was 5, and to know how she's helping the children and their family through this difficult time it's just really amazing to me.
It is amazing, and I always am so thankful, just like for her to be a nurse. I could never be a nurse.
Right.
I don't like the sight of blood, and I could not do those things. So I'm always thankful that other people are out there doing those things, and I like to promote them.
Yes.
That's what we do.
Tiffany's doing her part by promoting that.
Exactly.
No,
talking all the time. That's what I do.
Well, then, of course, Junior Team, but we've already talked about how much we like them and what they're doing. And they are doing so many great things. They could use the help of our community.
They really could. And, I really want to encourage people, because I'm on the board and that's my job, to go online, check out the different things that are happening. If you have kids in school, you really want Junior Achievement to be a part of their education. If you're a business owner, you definitely want kids to have this information so that you are getting kids that are ready to work.
Right. Doesn't matter who you are, you want this, because one day these kids are going to be running the world.
Oh my gosh.
We want to make sure that they're prepared to do it. Absolutely. And being financially savvy is an important part of that.
I know, and it's a difficult thing. I mean, I don't think that kids really get enough of that financial plan. I know April Klobus from MSU FCU is always talking about how important it is to get kids into learning about financial literacy, making sure that they know how to save, know how to, spend appropriately. I know how to spend. I'm not sure if it's appropriately.
I tell you, my kids don't know a thing about financial literacy because I took them to Michigan's Adventure the other day. My daughter leaves me because she decides she wants an ice cream, walks over to the ice cream things and orders. I said, here's a couple things. First, you don't have any money. And two, you need to stay with me at all times. She's like, but I wanted an ice cream.
Right. I mean, don't be ridiculous.
They need junior achievement in my kids' school. I need to work on that. Thanks so much for spending the last hour with us here. Thanks to MSU FCU for sponsoring Financial Facts. And thanks to our amazing guests that we had on
Terri
today.
Shaver from the Oldham Project.
And Amanda from Junior Achievement. We will be back same time, same place next week. Come back and see us again. Go to In Her Shoes Television and like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter at In Her Shoes TV.
Don't forget to visit the In Her Shoes webpage at inhershoestv.com.